Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Man in the Wild. Just I came across this Minnesota church shooting, and I don't know. I kind of been staying away from the whole psyop aspect of life just because like shit is draining, right? But came across this one, and so I've seen a couple videos that I wanted to highlight because I know it's kind of becoming clear to me, where these psyops come from. You understand? Because whenever it comes to um, trying to figure out the reason for, of course, you look and see who is trying to basically benefit off of the chaos and destruction that's being caused, or just, wherever you're trying to be guided, who's going to benefit. And like, I got to really go back, and I'm pretty sure, like, the beneficiaries of these psychological operations are Democrats, the Democrat Party. Stand because they're the ones that kind of like to instill fear into people, and all that type of stuff. So, um, just getting kind of back into the political game, and seeing how that stuff makes sense as it is becoming kind of clear now. And not to say that Republicans don't do this and don't do that, but like I'm talking about generally as a whole, in a very stereotypical, generalized, reasoning behind it. Because these psyops they end up going around gun control. And who's the only motherfuckers to give a fuck about gun control? So let's see what they say real quick.
Our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky. Aaron, we know at least 2 people confirmed dead now, at least 12 injured at this school shooting at the Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis. What more do we
And
know?
I want to make note, I want to make note that Minneapolis pulled off one of the biggest fucking psyops known to mankind in the George Floyd murder, quote unquote. And with Minnesota having, the failed vice presidential candidate, um, trying Democrats trying to grasp onto anything that they can, that part of it only makes sense. Motherfuckers be trying to score points and shit.
Oh. We've started to hear from eyewitnesses, including parents, who say they were at the school attending mass when they say that the gunman just burst in with some kind of semi-automatic weapon and began spraying bullets, hitting the stained glass and firing everywhere, seemingly at random. According to at least one eyewitness, there may have been 50 to 100 shots. We know from multiple law enforcement sources there are at least 2 people dead and more than a dozen injured. These numbers may fluctuate. They are preliminary and subject to change. But according to eyewitness accounts we're now hearing, the mass was underway at the school. Parents were there in addition to children. And so we now have more than a dozen injured. And sadly, Kira, at least 2 people dead. All right, let's bring in our.
And of course, too, they have to make sure that, they get the videos of the people running, and things like that. And, like I understand in emergency situations and stuff, you do tend to run, but I mean, let's keep it real. Like like the shots, having a common sense type of brain, you should be able to know the difference between a real, you know, um, fearful run, a real concerned run over, just a, hey, run there, just being directed. We have enough information at our hands to be able to tell the difference these days on a much larger scale.
Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas now. Pierre, what more are you learning as we get this information from Aaron?
Look,
these eyewitnesses saying
running.
that
She just gave up running. She took off a little bit to start off, but then she said, man, fuck this. They ain't paying me enough for this shit.
Let's bring in our Chief Justice Correspondent, Pierre Thomas, now. Pierre, what more are you learning as we get this information from Aaron? These eyewitnesses saying that the gunman apparently
like this
stormed.
Right here. Why? Like, why is this camera sitting right on this street, recording this lady running dead and up the middle of the street? Right? You sitting there talking over it. You don't want to give me any audio, because we've seen how, you guys like to cut off the audio when you don't want people to hear what's going on, right? But when that's not part of it, it's like them people that be in the back just mouthing the words like they don't, because they ain't getting paid enough to actually say the words, to have a line or two. Like, I mean, it's actually sick.
Mass opening fire, sources telling us at least 2 people dead, at least 12 injured. Aaron telling us the same thing. Now the FBI on the scene. Right, what more do we know?
Well, Kara, I'm going to read from some guidance I've gotten from a very senior law enforcement official. The person notes that this information is very fluid, but I'm going to read you what was sent to me. At approximately 8:30 local time, a male suspect entered Annunciation Church while school was in session and began shooting. Victim count is still being developed, and the situation is being cleared in terms of buildings. The suspect was found. It has been located and is contained according to this information.
Where are they running?
The information is still fluid.
The dude
and the scene
is dead. The dude did it, killed himself. You understand? Shot up the school and killed himself. You know what I'm saying? Such a clean, escape from, any type of, I don't know, like real type of results and actions. Example being, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what? I ain't about to give them advice on how to make a better PSYOP. But what I will say is that there's so much missing, when it comes to, something that's produced. And like I said, running police and all of that type of stuff, that's, part of the script.
Ongoing and being secured. Kira, it's clear to me based on this information that you had a completely horrific scenario where an active school, parents, children being brought to the facility, and this takes place at about 8:30 local time, according to this bulletin that I'm reviewing sent to me by a source. Again.
All right, so that's that. So now we got to go to.
Yes, you
are. They actually had the nerve to interview children. Okay, and so when they want to pull on your heartstrings, the most, they put children and older people. Right, and as of late, it's been illegal immigrants. But they try to put some kind of story, some type of those people in the story, to make sure that your heart is grabbed, and then from it being grabbed, it's like you're a fish. They're fishing, right? They hook your heart, boom. Now they can tug that motherfucker anywhere that they want, right? Pull you any way that they want because they got you. So go ahead and check these kids out, and you tell me if these kids really went through the shit that these motherfuckers is trying to tell us that they went through.
Correct. We're right outside of the scene here at Annunciation Catholic School and Church. Earlier, just moments ago, really, actually, we spoke with a 5th grader who was in Mass at the time that those shots rang out. He said he was right next to the windows, the stained glass windows you heard Police Chief Brian O'Hara describe as the way in which this gunman opened fire through those stained glass windows. And he talked about how they prepare for active shooter drills in school, but that it was never at church, which to me just struck me as just the innocence of this young boy, saying we practiced this, but we didn't practice it for this moment. And he also talked about how his friend dove over him, and he was hiding under a pew, and his friend was shot in the back And he said his friend is so brave for doing that and protecting him. It was really so powerful to hear, and we want you to hear directly from this young, brave boy.
It was like shots fired, and then we kind of like got under the pews. It kind of they shot through the stained glass windows, I think, and it was really scary.
Like, I think, kinda, and all of that. Like, kinda, maybe, all of this shit. It's like, yo, come the fuck on, man. This shit is disturbing. It is sick. You understand? Because like I said, when people do the desperatest shit whenever they like are losing, certain things here and there. But to pull something like this off, to keep on, trying to, manipulate the folks into like some bullshit. Like, how can I put this? Not all manipulation is bad, right? Whenever you are trying to push somebody to do better, to be the best version of themselves, like hell, even like military training, I'm a football coach myself. So, there are certain things in football and track. It's certain things that you'll say and do to these kids, to ensure that they try to reach their fullest potential and beyond. You know what I'm saying? So of course you're gonna do some, manipulation here and there, whether it be positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement, but still you have the best of intentions because you understand that that's what's gonna get them there. But on the other end of it, right, you got people that manipulate, and the only person that's going to gain from it is them. You are not getting anything out of the deal, right? Besides, the negative parts of it. You're not going to get it. So now you got these people, pulling this act. Now, granted, I don't know if real bullets was fired into the church, you understand? Or, if it was, the 100% complete, theater. Right? But at the end of it, when you put kids like this, witnesses like this in front of us, right? And you want us to be torn, you want us to be broken, and then you want us to also listen to whatever it is, the message that you got after the shit. Right? Because once your heart is entangled in all of this bullshit, now whatever person is telling you about it and telling you basically you should feel this way, they're going to have an answer for you on how you need to react to this. And that's that control cycle shit, man. Miss me with that bullshit, man.
What did you do after that?
Well, we waited like 10 to 5 minutes. I don't really know. And then we went to the gym, and then the doors locked just to make sure he didn't come. And we waited in the gym for more news, and everyone was okay. Or most people were okay.
Who were your friend, Wes?
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through?
Like, your friend got hit in the back? Like, yo, do you hear, like, like, it's not even good acting. Like, what was that damn Borderline bar in California? Like, they should have learned their lesson from that type of shit, man, because they was teenagers and 20-year-olds. Matter of fact, it was 20-year-olds, my bad, because it was a bar. So they was 20-something. Some of them was just 18, you could tell. But you're sitting there guiding this young kid. He's lying his ass off just to get people to react in whatever way, direction that you want to push them, and it's sick.
Your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him.
Were you?
But I think now he's okay.
So you heard it there from Wes, that really brave 5th grade boy.
So, and also make note that this woman here gave a little preamble to this shit, right? With the little choke up voice at the end of it, right? To let you know how sad it is what this kid is about to tell you. Like, you need to, like, understand that this brave young man, what he went through. Go ahead. Let's take it to him. And then you take it to that horrible ass acting. But, if you're susceptible, because there are many people who are, you get behind, of course, their gun control, because they are in Minnesota, with Tampon Tim Walz as their governor. Like I said, they did the Black Lives Matter shit with the George Floyd riots and everything, taking over police stations, lawlessness, right? So, what better place to pull it off and to be able to pull it off?
Was in the church at the time this happened. He described seeing his mom when he could finally be reunited with her, and he said that he was relieved because he didn't know if he would see her again, what was going to happen in that moment. But yeah, just a harrowing tale of what happened inside the church this morning when Wes and so many other school children at Annunciation School were kicking off the school year, going to Mass in the middle of prayers. He said it happened really soon after Mass began, and it was just unthinkable that unfolded thereafter, guys.
And as we continue to monitor the scene there in Minneapolis, we are hearing directly from eyewitnesses.
So that was one witness. Now they got another child witness, right? They got another child witness. I see this is still ABC. So yeah, ABC. I think I did a video on that, like all the different news outlets, which way they lean and all that type of stuff, and yeah, they always definitely make sure that the point gets hammered home.
Marissa Garcia is a student who attends Annunciation Catholic School, and she was inside that church when shots rang out. Here's what she told our Minneapolis affiliate about what she witnessed.
I was just at church, and I heard something like really loud, like I thought it was fireworks in the church, and then I saw the shooting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. And so a teacher led me downstairs to the preschool classroom, and so I went there, and me and my friend Cece were just praying, and then we went outside. We were just like waiting there, and then we went to somebody's house to be safe, and then we went to the F-45 thing, and then I saw my mom, and I was just like so happy, I was really glad that she was like with me.
And what was going through your mind when you were in that preschool classroom praying?
I hope nobody got killed or something like that, or hurt. And I was just praying if everybody could be safe and nobody would do this again.
How did it feel to hug your mom and get home?
I felt really safe, like my guardian angel with me, God was with me, and I was just hugging my mom tightly as I can.
And you heard it, but you didn't see anything.
I heard I saw the bullet kinda, and then it ran off.
Wow.
Yeah, wow indeed. Wow indeed.
But a terrible coincidence.
Because that was some of the fucking worst acting ever. I mean, did you hear the story? It's bless her heart, man, that people be putting these kids in these fucked up ass positions like this. But at the end of the day, the way she ran that story down, was like I've heard more excitement, from a kid who, I don't know, tells a story about how somebody fell down a flight of stairs. Right? I've heard more excitement from a kid, telling a story about, I don't know, the pain the pain of, I don't know, stubbing their toe, right? Like it's so, and you can insert so many different things, right? But you got the first kid talking about his friend was hit, not saying he was shot, he was hit, right? Who the fuck talks like that? You know, besides somebody who's told what to say and they're not doing a good job of saying it. You know, like it's just like, I don't know. These people do what they do, man, but you don't gotta believe the shit, you don't gotta buy into it, and you don't gotta accept it. Fuck 'em.
Shooting, by a terrible coincidence, just happened as the Democratic National Committee was wrapping up its meeting in Minneapolis this summer, which was filled with Trump bashing and especially bashing of the president's anti-crime initiative, where Democrats have placed themselves completely against what the president is doing. And in light of the Associated Press poll that you just mentioned, with a majority of Americans giving, saying they support and they approve of what President Trump is doing on the issue of crime, it just puts Democrats completely on the wrong side. So what you have now is this really terrible, weird confluence of the Democrats bashing Trump on crime, this terrible crime happening in Minneapolis, an added debate about trans, all in the context
and the funny part about that, okay, this is how stupid, because I mean, like I said before, the Democrat mind is extremely narcissistic, you know, when it comes to just the branding that they got, the policies, just everything, whoever they are, they're narcissistic. Okay, so whenever it comes to narcissists, whenever you stand up to them, right, it forces their hand and they end up fucking up. But they're really like, when you allow them to be in control, you know, they appear to be intelligent, they appear to be powerful, you know, they appear to have, you know, everything that you're lacking, right, because you believe the gaslighting that exists, right? Which they really have you thinking up is down, left is right, you know, right is left, all that type of shit. They got you believing the bullshit, right? But once you like really unpack piece by piece what it is that they do, so these motherfuckers just got done with the Democratic National Convention, whatever it is, whatever he just said at the beginning that broke, right? Pull off this motherfucking psyop, shooting up shit. First, you're complaining about Trump cleaning up crime. Then you pull the psyop, want to take people's guns away, but not trying to reveal the fact that it was a trans dude that did it. A dude identified as a girl did it, and then had killed Trump on his guns. He was completely anti-Trump, you know, to the extent of, you know, basically wanting to see Trump dead, possibly kill him type shit. This is the killer that they're presenting. I'm not saying, you know, that I believe whether that person is real or not, but this is what they're presenting, right? So it's like, man, what? That's so much confusion just in and of itself to unpack, right? Even for the regular thinking mind, that shit is a lot, you know. Even though you kind of know where it goes, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. So you're able to quickly dissect it, right? But when it comes down to the ones that don't, you know, get to really see past the glitter, you know, they can't really get too far past the type shit, so they can't really, so it's chaotic, you know, and it's basically stupid. You know, the dumbed down process. You know, the dumbed down process in full effect. So let me see, I think there was one more I wanted to see.
Minneapolis families. These were American families.
So yeah, with this one here, like, it's like the talking points. Because remember how I said, whenever people give you this bullshit, and then you find out, you know, afterwards they're gonna give you a solution. Peep these motherfuckers.
Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
As an elected official, you are on the ground with your folks and you appreciate this journey. I agree with the mayor. I'm not, the thoughts and prayers, I'm so beyond that nonsense, the lie of that. Because what we have are people who...
Hold on. I can't let it slide. When he said the lie of that, right? He said the lie of that holding up the little one eye, right? But that little smirk that he gave, the smirk that he gave when he said the lie of that, like little shit like that. You know, that's what gaslighting is. That's what that manipulation, that's how you can spot that shit. The motherfucking dupers the light. Motherfuckers try real quick to, you know, to get it up out the way, but you can't run away from certain things when it comes to you being deceptive, right? And them little micro expression shit, you can't get away from it.
Beyond that nonsense, the lie of that. Because what we have are people who continue to stand in the way of actually doing something to stop the violence against their own kids. It is amazing to me. We watch young kids die in classrooms and now in church, and all we get are thoughts and prayers. What?
I mean, he's expressing something that I know you feel and most people feel, which is a combination of sadness, but raw rage. Forget about thoughts and prayers. These kids were literally praying when they were murdered through a church window.
Okay, so
yeah, so you got these people who are sitting there talking about, you know, we're beyond thoughts and prayers and all this other shit. So what does beyond thoughts and prayers mean then? Right? Because it don't mean you're trying to bring any type of legislation to the floor. Because I mean, shit, all you do is bitch and complain, Democrats. So what does that really mean? What that means is you want motherfuckers to go out there and physically do something, but at the same time, you stupid motherfuckers aren't, like, y'all kind of burying the lead when you realize it's a Trump hater that did the shit. So who the fuck are y'all mad at? Like, what are y'all mad at? Yo, it's time to see through this bullshit in a 100 capacity, man, because they won't, you know, it's clear that they have no, they have, what do you want to call it? They have no integrity, right? There's no such thing as a fair fight, you know, even though they're the ones talking about fairness, equality, all this other shit. Yo, these type of people, you know, who end up, you know, pulling off these psyops and keeping them going and, you know, deceiving the people and all of this other type of shit, man, they don't have no limits, man. They don't have any type of restriction because everybody is on the table. Like I said, kids in this situation, you know, kids, older people, vulnerable people, it don't matter. You know, anything to push an agenda, anything to pump a narrative, you know, anything to, you know, to get the dub, other than, you know, honestly competing against somebody. You know, they just can't do it. So yeah, that's that, man. This shit, man. Like, as simple details emerged, I'm like, man, let me go ahead and put this on wax, because this is beyond. So yeah, but it's beyond, but it is what they do, and you know, we got too much information at our fingertips to, you know, to continue to buy into and believe and run with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Flush that shit down the toilet where it needs to go. So yeah, this Minnesota church school shooting bullshit is confirmed.